Hey guys, Jordan here. This video is just going to be a quick Monday night update discussing some of the topics presented to us in Q's drops over the weekend. And I also want to briefly cover this awesome new documentary that just came out. You might have heard about it. It's called Out of Shadows. Powerful movie. Very good. We'll discuss in a minute. But let's start off with talking about Q's drops. And we're going to begin with drop number 3929. Now again, I know some of these are a few days old, but again, important topics were discussed, and I still feel the need to put in my 2 cents in about them. So, drop 3929. This is where Q tells us, Patriots, be cautious in your interpretations of info posted. False expectations and push based on, quote, speculation will only weaponize those who attack us. MSM, the mainstream media. Why does the mainstream media expend resources daily attempting to discredit? And do you provide the playbook to the enemy with specific dates? Logical thinking. I am so glad that Q got into this subject, put the kibosh on a lot of the just crazy wild speculations and clickbait and sensationalized reporting that's been flying around out there for the last few weeks. I mean, if you guys follow me on Twitter, or if you've seen some of my recent videos, you know that even I've been getting a little upset by it. I'm like, my gosh, some of the crazy things people are saying. It's dangerous. It really is dangerous because it does a variety of things. It gives people false hope, false expectations. People think certain things are going to happen on certain days because they're misinterpreting these particular decodes where the people who tried to decode were misinterpreting Q's drops. Like, it just creates this long grapevine of false assumptions, and conclusion jumping can be very dangerous. It can break people's hearts if people are expecting these mass arrests and they don't happen and they get upset. It can cause trauma in people. And then not just that, but it gives the enemy, it gives the shills and the propaganda promoters out there plenty of ammunition. When arrests don't happen, or these crazy claims, or these people with their supposed insiders or their supposed sources, like how much of that have we heard in recent weeks? My insiders, my sources, all this stuff. Like, it offers so much ammo to the bad guys to try to discredit the general topic or discredit the Q movement or whatever the case. You know, if the boy cries wolf so many times, people will then start to think that maybe it's not happening, right? People cry mass arrest so many times that the idea of mass arrest gets desensitized for people, and just becomes like something they don't even think about, right? So many reasons. What I'm laying out to you here is there's many, many reasons why this can be very dangerous. So be very careful with those false expectations. I call it hopium, because people are like addicted to the clickbait sometimes. Be careful with that hopium. And really, I mean, do the due diligence of discernment. And if you hear any person claim they have sources, or make this tweet, or say these things in a video, and they don't provide sauce, they don't provide the evidence, what you gonna do? You gotta toss it out. You can't logically believe it or spread it around as fact, because it's not. So thank you, Q. And in fact, it wasn't just Q, but the next morning, I think it was Saturday morning, President Trump started tweeting about the New York Times and the Washington Post with their anonymous sources that are totally made up. And he even made another tweet that said, anytime you hear somebody say they have anonymous insiders or sources, it's almost always fake news. That's what POTUS even tweeted the next morning after Q made these drops. So I think that was a big topic of conversation in those inside circles over the weekend, and I am grateful that they finally talked about that. Now, moving on, I want to discuss some drops that we got on Saturday night. As you can see, we got a whole string of drops from people around the world, okay? Tweets from accounts where people were sharing videos from just around the world: Germany, Ghana in Africa, LA, UK, Australia, Indiana, Canada. It's crazy because all these people were just shouting out, where we go one, we go all, and saying they were Q supporters. Videos from around the world. Incredible stuff. I love when Q goes on these queuing sprees like this, which they've done before. They'll queue 10, 15, 20 accounts all at once just to increase the morale. And that's what they did here. It was great. It was awesome. So they queued 14 different tweets. Okay? 14. Where we go on Weagle Wall, you can see each and every one of them. Here's the thing. The very last queue they made in this queuing spree, this one right here, you can see they linked the Twitter account of Q the Wake Up and say where we go on Weagle Wall again. Here's the difference with this queue. So you can see each and every queue before this one was a particular tweet. It was a tweet with a video where they were shouting out the where we go on Weagle Wall phrase or queue. This one, they didn't link a tweet. They linked the straight URL for the account, the homepage of the account. So they linked the whole account in this drop. Weird. Few things. First of all, this is the second time in 3 days that this account has been queued. Queue the Wake Up. And as I said a few days ago, again, this account is a good friend of mine. He wants to remain anonymous, so I don't want to say his name here, but he's a good friend of mine. When he got queued, I called him up. I'm like, bro, you got queued again. He was freaking in shock. And this is a guy who's helped me with some videos on this channel. He edits the vlogs that I do now and again. And he also did some of the film work behind Above Majestic. Just crazy stuff. I wanted to share that with you guys because I'm like vicariously giving you his excitement right here. But also it's just, it's good to be proud of. Just 2 years ago, I was taking road trips with him when we were filming for Above Majestic, and that was only a few months into Q, and here we were talking about it, shooting the shit, and speculating what could happen, and 2 years later, he's getting queued, and we're making a difference in this movement. But anyway, back to why Q maybe posted his URL. So my friend here, for a few days, he was trying to collect people's videos from around the world where they were shouting out where we go in Weagle Wall, and he was just posting that like wildfire on his account. So I think that Q was sort of giving him a nod, giving him a shout out here because he sort of initiated the push behind getting a lot of these videos, a lot of people from around the world shouting out where we go in Weagle Wall and getting it onto Twitter and onto his timeline. So that's just my guess. I don't know, but it's definitely something to note that they didn't link a tweet of his. They linked his whole account. It was the second time in 3 days. I think they're just shouting him out. So good work, Q the Wake Up. You can also find him on Instagram too. He's mainly on Instagram. He doesn't use Twitter much, but he is the Wake Up Q on Instagram. And then Q gives us a meme saying the Great Awakening, bigger than you can possibly imagine. This is worldwide, folks. And that was great evidence of that, having videos from people around the world all shouted out. Incredible. And then we get this drop right here, drop 3951. This is the drop where Q links the Out of Shadows documentary, calling it the best documentary of the year. And then Q says, F black sites are being closed, MK active. And that most likely means foreign black sites are being closed. And it is active programs, active mind control programs, not called MK Ultra anymore, but they've been renamed, went deeper, darker, blacker, probably got funded with more black money, etc., etc. Still active. Q's letting us know that those are being closed and more classified stuff will become known in the future. But let's take a look at the doc. Jeez, look how many friggin' views this has in 3 days. 4.2 million views in 3 days. Let me tell you, somewhere right now, John Podesta is sweating bullets. John Podesta and every other weirdo that was totally put on blast in this documentary is sweating bullets. And this documentary was incredible. It is not common that I can find a documentary these days that can hold my attention and inspire me. Because so many documentaries out there, they're just full of freaking fluff. They're substanceless. That, or you can completely tell that there's just some deep subconscious narrative or spin that they're trying to program you with. Like, I can't stand it. Barely any documentaries on Netflix, if any. I don't do Netflix documentaries. Documentaries elsewhere, they're tough to find, good ones. This one, Not the case at all. Totally held my attention the whole way through, and it was great. It went through the CIA infiltration of Hollywood. It went through Operation Paperclip, how all them Nazis came over here after World War II. It went into the programs that then stemmed out from Operation Paperclip, one being MKUltra. Featured a lot of information on MKUltra. Featured a lot of information on a lot of the other just crap the CIA does, from controlling the media to the, especially got into the human trafficking and child sex abuse in there as well. Talked about Pizzagate a little bit. Talked about the blackmail, the honeypots that happen. Just, woo. Satanism too. Huge part of this doc was exposing the Satanism that is rife in Hollywood, in political circles, and in many avenues of our society. So again, incredible doc. Hats off to these guys for doing it and putting it out for free. You got Q'd. You deserved it. Q called it the best documentary of the year so far. Hats off to these guys. Great stuff. I would suggest downloading it before, if and when, YouTube censors it off the internet. And one more thing. Speaking of the people in this documentary that are probably sweating bullets now because they got put on blast, one of those is Marina Abramovic, the infamous spirit cooking performance artist, Marina Abramovic. And speaking of Marina Abramovic, check this out. So, same day, actually, the Out of Shadows came out, coincidentally enough, kind of weird, date-wise, April 10th. So, April 10th was when Microsoft put out their advertising campaign video with Marina Abramovic onto their YouTube channel. Now, mind you, this video is not new. They released this video back in February. I didn't know about it back then. I just figured out about it. But they actually released this video back in February with Marina Abramovic as a part of some sort of marketing ad campaign. Well, I guess it took them a couple months to upload it to their YouTube channel, but they finally did. They did it on the 10th. And holy shit, look at this ratio. My gosh. 600 upvotes. I don't know who the heck would upvote a Marina Abramovic YouTube video. 600 upvotes. They're probably all pizza shop owners. You get it? And 24,000 downvotes. That is a ratio if I've ever seen one. And speaking of ratios, and speaking of Microsoft, have you ever gone to Bill Gates' Instagram? Do it. Click on any of his recent posts, especially about coronavirus or vaccines, and ooh-wee, Bill Gates is feeling the heat of the ratio. With this here on Microsoft's YouTube channel too. That's bad, 24,000 downvotes. And check this out. Microsoft went and removed the video today. W, win, we win. You can't mess with the public, especially when the public is awakened. That's why public awakening is the thing they fear most. That's what we call consumer control, folks. Consumer control. You vote with your choices. You vote with your actions. You can make a difference with what happens in this world. Take down videos, get that information shared, and that is a big W. And again, it's just coincidental because the Out of Shadows documentary that came out on April 10th featured a big part of Marina Abramovic, and this ad came out on Microsoft's YouTube channel the same day. And Q on April 8th, 2 days before Microsoft uploaded the Marina Abramovic ad to their YouTube channel, is when Q brought back up spirit cooking. So what a, crazy. It's as if Q knew. Future proves past? I don't know. But yeah, they brought back up spirit cooking, asking us if, you think it's just pretend. 2 days before spirit cooker Marina Abramovic had her ad posted on Microsoft, which is now taken down. So that's just interesting stuff right there. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys in this one. I just wanted to cover a few aspects of Q's drops, Out of Shadows, incredible doc, and then that Marina Abramovic news. So that's it for this one, guys. Remember, tomorrow I'll do another rapid fire headline video. Maybe that's what I'll call it, rapid fire headlines. And I'll go through a bunch of different news stories happening in the last few days. And then there'll be a lot of other content coming too. It'll be fun. So anyway, thanks guys. Take care. I'll see you soon. Done.